I think this is great because he can't see me. He's wondering what my hand is, but he can't see me. Good afternoon, everyone. It's Stephanie, the Director of Wild Care. And happy Halloween, everyone. I'm wearing my candy corn earrings for all of you from my mom. I hope you're all staying dry and warm. And I'm super excited about today's live because I'm going to show you a couple of our coolest patients that we have at the moment. One of them is a great horned owl, and one of them is a Northern Gannet. And I just want you to know that I have a phone on a tripod so the owl can't see me, and then I'm going to be peering through a little hole in the kennel because I don't want to stress the owl, but I want everyone to be able to see him. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about owls and their natural history, and then we're going to talk about why this owl is here. So I will turn the camera around, and then we're going to feed this great horned owl. I'm so glad you guys are all signing on. I know some of you have snow in certain locations. We don't have snow here on Cape Cod, but it's very cold. It's in the 40s. Actually, I think high 30s. Okay. Okay, Leah. Sure. Yes. It's going to take my phone a second to adjust. There we go. I should have probably warned everyone, so the owl is eating and eating mice that we have thawed for him. There, now we are focused. You can see he is extremely food oriented. And he does not care that I am here, which is fantastic. Wow, you're a hungry bird. Is that everything?
I think you got them all.
Oh, he's so funny. So this is a great horned owl, everyone. And again, I'm off to the side so that he can't really see me. And great horned owls, they are an incredibly large bird. They can weigh between 5 and 6 pounds, with the females being larger than the males. They are a fierce, ferocious looking predator. They're an incredible predator. And they are the only large North American owl that actually has tufts. You can see the tufts on his head. Those are actually not his ears. They are simply for communication with other great horned owls and for camouflage. So those are not his ears. His ears are actually significantly lower. You can notice great horned owls, characteristic, have a white bib around the throat. And both sexes look very similar in terms of plumage. We can only tell from size and weight. So the females are generally much larger. And I apologize that my camera is going to continue to try to focus all the time. So great horned owls are totally widespread throughout North America. The only place you don't find them is Arctic alpine regions. So, and they are primarily resident throughout their range. So basically the great horned owls you have here in your backyard, they don't leave. They're not known to be strongly migratory. These guys live in mixed woodlands, and they prefer mixed woodlands and edges so that they have fields to hunt prey, and they often like to be around water. So they often will nest along a body of water or a stream, so that they have prey associated with those water sources. Owls have fixed eyes, and so this big beautiful bird, you can see both of his eyes are in the front of his head. And owls, actually, they can't move their eyes like we can. Their eyes are fixed. So in order to see his prey, he needs to swivel his entire head, and great horned owls can swivel their head over 180 degrees. And I love that he just swiveled his head to show us all. Thank you for the demonstration. They have acute hearing, and he can't see me, you guys. I just want to stress that because our goal here is to reduce stress. And so I'm off to the side with the camera peeking through a little hole. Notice the facial discs on the face. It's fascinating. You know, these are a nocturnal owl, and those facial discs actually funnel sound into the ears. And the ears are located, one is slightly higher than the other. So if you were to look at this owl's face really closely, those dark feathers right around the cheeks, they are going up on one side and down on the other side. And this is to funnel sound into the ears. And so when this owl hears something at night, he swivels his head and can pinpoint the sound on basically two different planes because of those asymmetrical ears. It's fascinating. Owls also have these beautiful, soft, fluffy feathers, and owls have silent flight because of this. You know, think about it, being a nocturnal predator, your wings can't make noise because your prey is going to be long gone before you can grab it. And so what these birds are lacking is the little barbicels that actually zip the feathers together. Those are missing, creating a soft, basically a soft, like feathery appearance, and also creating the soundless flight. Really, really important for owls. These big predators are perch and hunt type of bird, perch and pounce, and they eat 90% mammals. And this is a big owl, you guys. I know you probably can't tell because I'm showing you just one view here, but a really big owl, again, can be up to 5.5 pounds, and they can actually eat prey as large as rabbits and skunks. Skunks is one of their most favorite prey. So often when we get them in, they smell like a skunk, and we know what they've been eating recently. They pounce on their prey, and they basically sever the spine of their prey with that big honking beak that you see right there, which actually takes the force of 13 kilograms to open. If you can imagine, their prey does not even know what has hit them because they sever their prey's neck very, very quickly. If you've ever seen mouse heads on the ground near owl pellets, great horned owls love to decapitate things. That's often a telltale sign that you've had a great horned owl nearby. So I also want to talk about their courtship. So owls are super cool, especially in New England, because, you know, when we think about breeding birds, most of our birds breed, you know, May through August. Not these guys. These are one of the earliest nesting birds in New England. Their courtship starts now. Now is the time where you hear the territorial hooting. Usually during the wee hours of the night, they seem to love to hoot around 2 and 3 a.m. and that is announcing territory and attracting a mate. These guys are incredibly solitary throughout their life. The only time they pair up is for copulation, courtship duties, and caring for the young. But these are not a lovey-dovey social owl. They mate for life as far as we know, or for at least 5 years. And what a life they lead, because these owls, this is a big predator, and when they are out during the day, they are mobbed by everything. And when I say mobbed, I mean birds are screaming at them like blue jays and American crows, and basically alerting everyone to the fact that there's a giant predator around. And for that fact, aside from them being nocturnal, we make sure we always release them at dusk or in the evening, because that is their life. He's such a cool bird. So I was saying that the earliest nesters of the season, these guys are often sitting on eggs as early as February. And so sometimes there's snow on the ground and these birds are sitting on eggs. Their nest is not their own. They do not build their nests. They do not maintain their nests. They basically steal nests from other birds. So leftover nests from red-tailed hawks, American crows, great blue herons, unused nests, because these guys are nesting in the winter. And then they don't do any maintenance. They could care less about their nest. They don't build it and they don't maintain it. It's fascinating, really. It's pretty smart when you think about it. Steal a nest. And the female lays 1 to 4 eggs and starts to incubate those eggs immediately. And what that means is that these chicks hatch asynchronously. So you've all seen the National Geographic and PBS specials where you're looking at an owl nest and the chicks are all different sizes. And that's because the female starts incubating as soon as she lays the first egg. And the reason for this, and the reason for all the mismatch in ages and sizes, is in a year where there's bountiful prey, all of those chicks are going to survive. In a year when food is scarce, those older chicks, who are most certainly going to be the stronger chicks, will survive and the others will perish. So it's basically like taking out an insurance policy. If it's a good year for food, then you can successfully raise all these chicks, but it ensures that at least a few chicks will survive from a clutch. The female does all the incubation of the eggs, and she broods the chicks all on her own. And when I say brood, I mean that she's sitting on the chicks to keep them warm. The male great horned owl he's not involved in any of the incubation or brooding. But what he does is he brings food to the female and also food to the female and young. So he's not a deadbeat dad entirely. He is providing for the female and for the young. And the chicks grow incredibly quickly. When they hatch, they are what we call altricial, which is naked, blind, and helpless. They are covered in down and their eyes are closed, usually until about 10 days of age. And they grow like weeds, and they usually can locate their parents by sound by day 14. By day 21, they start grasping and playing with objects in the nest, like sticks and pieces of carcasses and such. And by days 20 to 27, they're able to actually feed themselves within the nest. So initially, the father's dropping off the prey, the mother's tearing it into small pieces and feeding it to the young. But by 27 days of age, they can feed themselves in the nest. The chicks are able to climb at around day 40. And this is really important for you guys to know, because most of our calls come from this age range, with chicks being on the ground around 40 days old, about, up to 6 and 7 weeks old. The chicks start clambering around and they actually will leave the nest, and sometimes they fall. And it's a totally normal state for them. It's a precarious stage where they can't fly yet, but they're flapping and they're fooling around, and they sometimes fall out of the nest. So we call this a branching age. And if you find chicks that are on the ground, please do not take them home and cuddle them. Owls imprint very easily, and we need to get them back into their nest. So it's really important. You should call us or call your local wildlife rehabilitator or center if you find an owl on the ground, because I can tell you they will make tremendous attempts to get the birds back with their parents. And if we can't get them back with their parents, what we do is we will put them into another great horned owl nest that has chicks of similar age. And the reason we were able to do this is because owls cannot count. So we can actually give owls another chick and they don't even know. It's just another mouth to feed. We almost never raise them here at the center because the risk of imprinting is too high, and we get them back into the wild with either foster parents or their own parents. His facial expressions are incredible. And my last notes about this bird, how long do these guys stay with their parents? Well, they are capable of flight around 7 weeks of age. They might come back to the nest. They likely will roost nearby, and they actually stay with the parents for the entire summer. You can often find great horned owl chicks begging into October, which is 4 to 5 months after leaving the nest. Because again, remember I said that they're usually on eggs in February. There's a 30 to 37 day incubation period, and then they are all summer with their parents. And part of the reason is, think about their lifestyle. So these guys are the perch and pounce predators. They're hunting at night, and they have to be incredibly adept at hunting prey. If they were just dropped on their own as kids to just go start hunting and find their own food, they would likely starve to death because it takes some time to acquire that skill. So the parents have to continue feeding them. And then often they'll continue to beg for a period of time when the parents are then no longer responsive. And finally, great horned owls, the youngsters eventually need to disperse. They will get kicked out of that territory by the adult male. They need to establish their own territories and start their own life. It's pretty amazing. He just saw my face. He just saw my face, you guys. He's so funny. Okay, so I know I'm talking, that was probably way more information than you ever needed to know about great horned owls. But here's the really important part. So why is this bird here? So the reason this bird is here is because he was poisoned by rodenticides. And rodenticides are, I'm referring specifically to the anticoagulant rat and mouse poisons. And this is very sad. This is unfortunately a common occurrence. Almost all of our large raptors that we receive have some level of rodenticide exposure in their system. This bird was rescued by one of our volunteers named Bill Redahan from Orleans. The bird was very weak and down, appeared to have an injured wing, but that was just dropped wings from weakness. And what happens is when you use anticoagulant rodenticides to poison rodents, the rodents go outside, they're weakened, and they become easy prey for birds like this great horned owl. So guess what happens to the owl when he then eats that poisoned mouse? Well, the owl gets poisoned himself. And most people don't realize this. You want the easy, quick fix, right, to get rid of your rodent problem. When in fact, the best possible solution for your rodent problem is having a bird like this around. This bird can eat over 3,000 rodents in a year. Imagine, I can't think of a better species to have in my backyard to control my rodent problem than a bird like this. And that's just one bird. Think about a great horned owl family. So 3,000 rodents times 5. It's just incredible. So we are highly, highly against the use of rodenticide poisoning. Not only is it poisoning our birds of prey, it's also poisoning our mammals like foxes, coyotes, skunks, anything that would hunt or eat a debilitated rodent that they come across. He's such a beautiful bird. Oops. So, how do we know that he was poisoned by rodenticides? We know this because he came in and the bird was severely dehydrated, showed signs of anemia, and then we actually test their blood and we look at the time that it takes for the bird's blood to clot. And a normal clotting time for a bird would be under 8 minutes. And so we often know, when combined with other signs like anemia, disorientation, dehydration, weakness, and poor clotting time, those are all indicative of rodenticide poisoning. The treatment is vitamin K. We usually do a treatment of about 15 days, and then we also retest the blood, and if needed, we will continue a treatment for over 30 days. Does he get it in his mice? He just got, when you guys saw him eating mice in the beginning, he got his little vitamin K dose for the day in one of his mice. So I'm so glad you guys were all able to see this beautiful bird. You're probably all saying, okay, you just told me not to use poison, so what do I do? How do I get rid of my mouse problem? If you go to our website, wildcarecapecod.org, and click on, there's a link for wildlife conflicts. I have a ton of information on there about how to humanely control or deter rodents. But it's important to know that when you're fighting the rodent battle, there's no quick fix. It really requires integrated pest management, which means find out where the rodents are getting in to your home, shed, car, exclude them. You can use essential oils to deter them. Most rodents hate peppermint, eucalyptus, citronella, peppermint. Did I already say that? And then also there are many different devices. There's actually a birth control product for rats. It's sold by Sinestech. It's called Contrapest. It's non-hormonal, and they tell us that it's safe for the environment. You know, what it does is it sterilizes rats. So overall, you reduce your population long term. Also, cut away any tree limbs, vines, places that rodents are using to navigate into your home, shed, vehicle. Make sure pet food is not out. Make sure refuse is contained. You can see here, it's a lot of work, but once you implement this multifaceted approach, you are going to keep your rodents away longer. Poisons, sure they work. They poison the rodents, they poison the birds. You can possibly poison your children. You can poison your pets. And guess what? All the rodents go away for a little while, and then you have them right back because you haven't solved the initial problem of why are they there and how are they getting in. Okay, so that was a lot of information, and we will post some links for deterring rodents. And I think we're going to switch to another amazing, amazing bird, our Northern Gannet. Thank you, Mr. Great Horned Owl, for being amazing superstar. What better bird to show when we're talking about Halloween? Leah, you let me know when you're ready. While we're waiting, I'm just going to look back and see if there are any questions here that I can answer. You're ready? Okay. So this is Leah Merbeck. And, oops, and she just let a Northern Gannet out of his kennel. Oh my goodness, he is so stunning. So he likes to charge people. So you notice Leah's keeping her distance. What is he eating, Leah?
Capelin.
He's eating capelin.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand right here. Is that okay?
I think so.
He is gorgeous. And then we'll talk about Gannets in a minute. Oops.
Okay.
Oops. He gobbles them up so quickly you can't even see it.
I don't know. Do you want to walk around and from the front or not too much?
Oh yeah, sure. I'm gonna go view him from the front, you guys. Get a mini tour of Wildcare in our antique kitchen, and Rachel and Karen and Leah. Look at this bird. He's gorgeous.
Don't look at Lynn. Hey. Yeah.
Oh, you get to hear him vocalize too. So you can see that he sits down and his wings are out. He's a little bit weak. He was just brought to us yesterday.
No, he's been here several days.
He's been several days?
Yeah, Saturday.
Saturday. So he was rescued in Plymouth. He is a victim of fishing debris. He had a fish hook through his leg and wing with a fishing lure. Look at his feet. He is stunning. So this gorgeous plumage you see here of the black and white and brown, adult Northern Gannets take on this beautiful stark white plumage with black wingtips, but it takes them over 4 years to acquire that adult plumage. And in the 4 years before that, they are varying degrees of this white, brown, cream color. He is totally awesome. This is my favorite bird, you guys. And if you were here, you'd be able to smell him. There's no smell like it. They have this perfumey, almost musky odor. Bop, 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 bop. So Northern Gannets, I'm so proud that the North Atlantic is their home. We see a lot of them, primarily in the winter, and that's because they breed on islands off Quebec. There's actually a huge gannet colony called Bonaventure off Quebec where you can actually visit the colony, and I believe it's over 20,000 birds. And so these birds are strictly pelagic. Pelagic meaning feeding and living offshore. I'm going to zoom in on his face. So you can see gannets here year round. If you were to go out on a boat and go on a pelagic trip, you can find them hunting. It's largely immature birds here throughout the year because the breeding birds are north breeding. But then, end of summer, everyone starts coming back and they winter here off our shores. And so on a great day from the coast, you can see them off in the distance diving, and sometimes right in Cape Cod Bay. He is amazing. They eat lots of fish. We put them in our seabird therapy pools. They need to be completely waterproof before they leave. You're welcome to throw in more if you want. Are you waiting for me?
I just don't want to use them all up.
Oh, okay.
In case he starts misbehaving.
Good idea. Well, here, I'll zoom on you. Wow, look at the color, you guys. So he's got a great appetite. Bop, 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 bop. And some of you might think, wow, he resembles the boobies of the Pacific. And that is because he is a booby. Essentially, he's a booby of the North Atlantic. His close relatives are the boobies, the pelican, the cormorants, and hinga frigate birds. Characteristic that they all have is they have those huge, sexy feet, which have all four toes completely webbed It's called a totopalmate foot. And those are great for diving, swimming, and for incubating your eggs. Oh, and he, oh my God, and he showed his feet. Look at those. Wowzers. Those are good looking feet. Where is he going? We think he's full. His color is just incredible. What's cool is, so this bird, you know, they live in the North Atlantic, breed off Quebec, and so we get them primarily in the winter. They winter here in huge numbers, and so we'll rehab this bird and release him, and the cold is nothing for him. We'll certainly acclimate him to the cold before release, but because they're here in the winter, we don't have to worry about getting them back out into the frigid temperatures. Leah, he's amazing. Thank you.
No problem.
If Elisa is watching, hi Elisa. Thank you, Elisa and Lindsay. Lindsay, thank you for rescuing this beautiful bird. Lisa.
Yeah.
Not Lindsay, I'm sorry. Lisa. Sorry about that. Thank you for rescuing this bird, Lisa, and transporting it to Cape Cod from Plymouth. Okay, I think with that, okay everyone, I hope you enjoyed this program. Again, we'll post links about how to humanely deter or control rodents. We'll post some pictures of these beautiful birds to come. If you liked this Facebook Live and you like the work that we do, please consider making a donation. We now have a Facebook donate button, and there's also a donate button on our website, which is wildcarecapecod.org. I hope you all stay warm, stay in from the snow, and have a happy Halloween. Thanks, everyone.